The Interior Department aims to restore wild bison herds but are keeping their plans under wraps. Outfitters are working with landowners to manage an overabundance of elk in eastern Wyoming, and the CEO of Ford Motor Company found out the hard way that taking an electric truck on a road trip comes with its own challenges. Bringing you these stories and more from Wyoming's largest news organization, I'm Wendy Corr for Cowboy State Daily. The Department of the Interior announced its plans to restore wild bison herds in states across the West months ago, but it's been quiet about the plan ever since. Cowboy State Daily's John Thompson reports that Montana Congressman Matthew Rosendale is calling for transparency.
A Montana congressman has called him out and said, what's going on here? You know, we see that you're creating this working group, but it's all federal agency people and people who represent the tribes. There's no representation from livestock interests or rural communities.
According to the Interior Department, there are about 15,000 wild bison across 4.6 million acres of federal land in 12 states. The Yellowstone National Park herd alone holds about 4,800 animals. A Clark man has provided a detailed investigative analysis showing that a local power company and tree trimming service are most to blame for a devastating 2021 wildland fire that killed his wife. In a report released last week, an investigator hired by Jerry Ruth blames the fire that killed his wife Cynthia and burned multiple homes in the northwestern Wyoming town on Beartooth Electric and aspen tree expert. Cowboy State Daily's Leo Wolfson reports.
They basically said that the high winds that were occurring on that night led the power line to make contact with the tree, which then became on fire. And then the high winds blew some of the pieces of the tree and some embers into a field, causing the fire, which ignited like a bat out of hell, considering that there were extremely dry conditions at that time of year.
In court documents, Beartooth has called the event an act of God and asked the court to dismiss Ruth's lawsuit and also to have Ruth reimburse the company's legal costs. The Black Hills region is one area of Wyoming where an overabundance of elk has become a problem for landowners. Outdoors reporter Mark Hines says some Wyoming Outfitters, local landowners, and Wyoming Game and Fish have come up with a way to address the problem: bring in first-time hunters.
Table Mountain Outfitters, they've coordinated with some ranchers, and they get either wounded veterans or first-time youth hunters or first-time woman hunters come through the Game and Fish program, and they're able to take them out on these hunts on these ranches in the hopes of culling some of the numbers of cow elk. So it's kind of an everybody wins kind of scenario.
Because antelope in many of Wyoming's best hunting areas were slammed by the combination of a vicious winter and an outbreak of rare pneumonia, outfitters have switched their focus to elk, coordinating with ranchers who have too many elk on their land. I'll be back with more news right after this.
At Hilltop Bank, we understand that buying a home is a big decision. That's why we're here to be your trusted partner on the path to home ownership. Our experienced mortgage team will guide you every step of the way, from pre-approval to closing. We offer competitive rates and a wide variety of home loan options to best suit your needs. With our local knowledge and personalized service, you'll feel confident and comfortable throughout the entire home buying process. Contact us today to start your journey toward home ownership. Hilltop Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Ford Motor Company gets billions of dollars from the federal government for its transition to electric vehicles. But energy reporter Kevin Kilo reports that when Ford CEO Jim Farley drove one of his F-150 Lightnings, he was shocked at how long it takes to charge.
This company is investing $50 billion, which includes billions in subsidies, to support this build out of their EV line. And for the CEO of the company to not really realize one of the major issues with EVs was kind of surprising.
Energy watchdog Robert Bryce told Cowboy State Daily that Farley's experience with his own product, quote, sets the new bar for corporate cluelessness. And the Buffalo Bill Art Show and Sale is a partnership between the Cody Country Chamber of Commerce and Buffalo Bill Center of the West that this year features 104 pieces of fine art from 104 artists working in the mediums of painting, sculpture, and furniture. Cowboy State Daily's Andrew Rossi attended the opening of the art show, which brings internationally recognized artists to Northwest Wyoming each year.
Every artist that's featured in the show, you can meet them, you can shake their hand. A lot of them attended the opening reception at the Buffalo Bill Center of the West, which is the opportunity to view the art before it goes up for auction next month. And that adds a real personal element that's missing from a lot of other art auctions in the United States and the world.
Since hundreds of people travel to Cody to participate, it's made the Buffalo Bill Art Show and Sale an important off-season event for the region. And that's today's news. You can read about all of these stories and more on CowboyStateDaily.com. I'm Wendy Corr for Cowboy State Daily.